For the last several years, I've told you a story about Africa. So I thought I would tell you tonight how to learn a language by total immersion. I decided when I was in Zululand that the best thing to learn a language was to go and live with someone who didn't speak English. So I went to live with one of the Bible ladies down in the Lowveld, in the valley, who worked with several different churches, and she spoke probably as much English as I spoke Zulu. And we lived together, and we learned to communicate. And I knew I had succeeded when I left there after 3 weeks. And I met some missionaries that I knew, and I spoke to them in Zulu. They were English speaking. But this house where we lived was a 2-room house, a mud house with a thatched roof. In our bedroom, we slept together, and there were 2 like army cots in the bedroom, and just enough room for us to walk between the 2. That was the whole room. At the end, there was a big built, what do you call it, a closet, movable closet that sat there. So the whole room was furniture. And we went to bed the first night, and I woke up at something like 3 o'clock in the morning to my roommate praying. It was her custom to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and pray until dawn, out loud. So I heard prayers in Zulu the rest of the night. And gradually she decided that I should join in. So we prayed together in Zulu all night and had to stay awake the next morning. And then she told me the next morning that she had to go and plant in her fields. And I said, well, can I come with you? No, you don't need to come with me. It's a one-man job to plant fields. But she demonstrated for me how you plant. She was planting corn. And she said, you use your foot, and you make a spot for the corn, and then you drop 3 kernels, and then you take a step forward, and then you cover it over with the back of your foot, and then you do the second one. But only one person can do it at a time. So I stayed at home, and I listened to Zulu radio, and lo and behold, there was this grunting noise. The first morning I was there by myself, and I thought, what is that? So I got up, and I went to the door, and I looked, and her pigs had gotten loose. And I thought, oh, this is a tragedy. I don't know what to do with pigs. Phil Schoenberg could probably take care of it immediately, but I had no idea. So I thought, I got to get hold of her and tell her her pigs are out. And I didn't even know where her fields were. So eventually I got her attention, and she came home. She said, well, that's easy. Do you know the solution to pigs that are out in the yard? Food. She simply grabbed some corn, and she said, beep, 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 and she dropped the corn, and she walked into the shelter and slammed it behind them. Well, I should have known that, but I didn't. So I learned that. And she took me off to a meeting where she was the main speaker for the women's meetings. And she gave me about a half an hour's warning, and she told me that I was going to lead the next meeting. Not. Anyway, I'm sure your time is up and they're ready for their step. So that's another one of my stories. Each New Year's Eve, I'll try to think of one for you.